Okay, today we're basically putting all of the algebra we've done so far in 7.3 and 7.4 together to do something called a complex fraction. Why is that fraction complex? Yes, it's fractions inside of fractions. We don't want a fraction inside of a fraction. That's not an answer that's in its simplest form. So what we want is an answer that looks like a fraction, a numerator and a denominator, but the numerator and denominator don't have fractions in them. So what do you think we might do first on a problem like the one I have on the board? Liam?
Get a fraction over a fraction instead of
So basically you're saying do the addition and subtraction, right? You need to get x over 6 minus x over 3 as one single fraction. And then do the same thing in the denominator. In fractions, numerator and denominators are kind of like grouping symbols, like parentheses. You got to do them first. So we have to do plus or minus in the numerator. And we have to do plus or minus in the denominator first before we can divide them. Okay, so we need what? Common denominators. Let's multiply by 2. And on the bottom one, we'll multiply by 2 on the first one.
This is a really bad question. If you multiply x by 2, is it x squared?
No, it's 2x. X times x is x squared. So now my denominator in the numerator, my denominator in the fractions in the numerator is 6. And then we'll have x minus 2x. Well, x minus 2x is negative x. So that's negative x over 6 in my numerator. And I always, when I'm doing complex fractions, I always draw my fraction bar really big on that one. So I know that's the numerator, this is my denominator, so don't get confused. And then on the bottom part, I'm going to have a denominator of 10, and I'm doing 2x minus 7. Can I subtract 2x minus 7? No, so that just carries over. 2x minus 7, those are not like terms. Okay, so we did what Liam said. Do the addition, do the subtraction, so that we have one fraction in the numerator and we have one fraction in the denominator. Now what can we do?
Well, isn't it, since they're being divided, can't you just do the multiplication?
Yeah, now it's a fraction divided by a fraction. So some of you may say, keep, change, copy, dot, flip, multiply by the reciprocal. The numerator stays the same, negative x over 6. We're going to change it to multiplication, and then we just flip the one that's in the bottom. So it's going to be 10 over 2x minus 7. Yeah, I mean, I could multiply across, but before I multiply, I always check to see if anything could cancel, or factor or cancel. I can't factor any of those things, but can I cancel anything? Can cancel the x's. This is a term, not a factor. The 10 and the 6 have a common factor of 2. So this is really 3 and this is 5. Okay, so that's negative 5x over 3 times 2x minus 7. Note that that's not 5 minus x or anything like that. It's being multiplied, so it's negative 5x. If you wrote it as negative 5x over 6x minus 21, that's fine. Remember, I just don't do that multiplication because it opens me up to a silly mistake. Like, what if I do 2 times 3 is 5? Because I'm rushing. So I just leave it alone. Okay? So let's do another one. That one's pretty easy because it had all number denominators. Let's do one with some x's. Okay. The bullet points at the top are basically what you guys told me to do. Step 1, add or subtract in the numerator and or denominator. sometimes you have to add and subtract in both. Sometimes you'll only have to add or subtract in the numerator, but not in the denominator, or vice versa. So you're trying to make it look like a fraction over a fraction. Then multiply by the reciprocal, and then factor and reduce. Remember, just like always, your answers may be in simplest form. So you have to do that part where you factor everything and see if anything will cancel out. Okay, notice your numerator is ready to go. 6 over x minus 2 is a single fraction. So we just really need to focus in our denominator. Can you add or subtract the fractions as they are? No. Can either denominator be factored? No, they're already factors, as is x minus 2 and x. So what is this first fraction missing in the denominator? An x. What's the second fraction missing? X minus 2.
Wait, why is the first one missing?
Yeah.
Because it has a factor of x minus 2, but it doesn't have a factor of x. Remember, there's a difference between terms and factors. Just because it has a term of x does not mean it has a factor of x. Okay, so let's see. My new denominator then is x times x minus 2. Bless you. In the numerator, I have x on the first one. For the second, I've got to distribute that 3, so that's really plus 3x minus 6. And then I could clean that up a little bit. What is that? 4x minus 6 over x times x minus 2. So I just combined my like terms right there. Now remember, the numerator was good to go, right? So I'm just going to pull my numerator over here. That's 6 over x minus 2. So now I have a fraction divided by a fraction. Multiply by the reciprocal. So this will be 6 over x minus 2 times x minus 2 over 4x minus 6. What should I do next? Okay, I could cancel the x minus 2's. Does anything else cancel? Is everything else factored? No, you could factor 4x minus 6. You can take out a 2. So this is really 2 times 2x minus 3. Does anything else cancel?
The 6 can become.
Yeah, the 6 over 2 will really be 3 over 1. This is a 3 and this goes away. So then I'm left with what? 3x in the numerator, and this one I had factored, so then I just have 2x minus 3. Thank you. Don't get cancel happy. You can't cancel any of the x's. It's done. Questions, concerns? Okay, we'll do one more, then you'll have some time to work. 2 over x minus 4, all over 2 over x plus 3. What are those denominators for -4 and 3? 1.
Isn't X 1?
X could be.
You're not solving for x.
No, I know. Is X 1?
Oh, why did you just
No,
make
x
it,
is x.
Why did you just make the +3 -4? So you gotta get those around.
No.
Answer the
You need common denominators, x's. So multiply by x, multiply by x. And all of those. Then your denominator in the numerator is x. And you have 2 minus 4x all over. Denominator in the denominator is x. And you have 2 plus 3x. Multiply by the reciprocal. 2 minus 4x over x times x over 2 plus 3x. What happens? Cancel your x's.
Cancel 2.
Those are not factors, those are
They are terms.
terms. How do you know they're terms, not factors?
There's an addition sign between them.
There's a plus or minus right behind it.
Here's what I meant. Don't look at me, Kenzie. Don't look at me like that. Like,
Now, you might look at 2 minus 4x. 2 minus 4x does factor into 2 times 1 minus 2x. But 2 plus 3x doesn't factor, so I still can't cancel the 2. So, your answer, you could write it as 2 minus 4x over 2 plus 3x. Or if you want to write it in the factored form, 2 minus, or 2 times 1 minus 2x over 2 plus 3x. Beware of getting cancel happy. Okay, you must check that you have factors, not terms, in order to be able to cancel. Okay? Okay, I'll give you some time to work on your homework assignment.